She was the villain. She was the third person in the marriage. She needed to rehabilitate her image.
You and your brother both directly asked your dad not to marry Camilla.
Yes.
FBI agents reportedly stormed Queen Camilla's estate, exposing a hidden conspiracy that finally proved Diana's death was no accident. Diana's secret letters, underground tunnels packed with classified files, dust-covered chests held ancient jewelry and coded documents, while old surveillance photos revealed decades of royal family tracking. What terrible secrets has Camilla been hiding behind those elegant walls? And will these discoveries bring down the British monarchy once and for all? Join us as we uncover what investigators found in Queen Camilla's mansion that has left everyone shocked. Hidden chambers and Diana's secret letters. A chilly evening in the English countryside took a jaw-dropping turn when FBI agents showed up at Queen Camilla's private estate. Their black SUVs rumbled up the long driveway of Ray Mill House, headlights piercing through the thick fog that so often blankets the British countryside. But they weren't there for polite conversation. Armed with search warrants and determined expressions, they marched straight to the grand front doors of Camilla's secluded retreat from the chaos of Buckingham Palace. The butler who answered the door looked stunned, his face draining of color. American agents at a royal residence? That was unheard of. In all his years working at the mansion, he had never seen anything remotely like this. Without a word, he stepped aside, letting them into the grand marble-floored entrance hall, where chandeliers sparkled overhead. The search started like any other, with agents combing through drawers, peering behind paintings, and inspecting the lavish furniture. At first glance, everything seemed normal, just the kind of opulence you'd expect in a royal home. But then, in the study, something caught an agent's eye, a bookshelf that didn't quite sit flush against the wall. Curious, he tugged on one of the books. A faint creak broke the silence. The team pushed on the shelf, and with a deep groan, it slowly swung open, revealing a dark, hidden passage. Inside was a small, ice-cold room thick with dust, as if it hadn't been touched in years. Stacks of old letters, wooden chests, and small locked boxes covered the space. But the real shock came when agents noticed the name scrawled across many of the papers: Princess Diana.
Letters, there's 35 of them, 32 of them that have come about from Princess Diana writing between 1995 and 1996.
These weren't just any letters, some were dated mere weeks before her tragic crash in Paris. The handwriting looked rushed, almost frantic. Agents handled the papers carefully, aware they could be holding evidence of long-buried royal secrets. Among the documents, they found something else: jewelry that didn't match any known royal collection. Some pieces appeared to be ancient heirlooms, supposedly lost centuries ago. Others seemed to be gifts from powerful figures whose ties to the royal family had never been made public. But the most chilling discovery lay hidden beneath an old, tattered rug in the corner of the secret room. When an agent stepped on something solid, he yanked the rug aside and found a metal handle. He pulled, and with a heavy groan, a trap door swung open, revealing a pitch-black tunnel stretching underground. The passage was old, but strangely well kept. Experts later confirmed it had modern reinforcements and even a basic ventilation system, proof that someone had been maintaining it. British historians acknowledge that many royal properties once had escape tunnels, but most had been sealed off decades ago. This one, however, showed clear signs of recent use, with fresh footprints visible on the dusty floor. The discovery sent shockwaves through British intelligence. How could one of the highest-ranking royals have access to an unmonitored tunnel without their knowledge? Security officials were stunned. If this tunnel existed, how many more were hidden beneath the royal estates? And more importantly, where did it lead? And an unknown underground passage, the FBI had stumbled upon something far bigger than expected, and one thing was certain: this was just the beginning. As secrets surface beneath royal grounds, a trapdoor opens to the past. What dark truths lie in wait below Queen Camilla's mansion? Secret tunnels, files, and Diana's death connection. The investigation into the royal family took an interesting turn as they found the dark passage below. Suddenly, what was already one of the most explosive royal investigations in history became even more mysterious. The agents descended into the underground tunnel system, their flashlights cutting through the damp, stale air. The space smelled of earth and decay, untouched for who knows how long. Calling for backup, the team knew they had stumbled onto something big. These tunnels weren't just old escape routes. They had been carefully hidden, intentionally kept from public knowledge. The narrow passage stretched deep beneath the estate, just wide enough for a single person to walk through. Strange symbols covered the walls, markings that didn't match any known language or code. Judging by the faded paint and worn stone, it was clear these tunnels had existed long before Camilla moved in. After what felt like an endless walk underground, the agents reached another door, heavy, locked, and clearly meant to keep people out. It took force to break it open. What they found inside changed everything. The hidden chamber was filled with hundreds of files, neatly arranged on wooden shelves. The names on them sent chills down the agents' spines. Powerful politicians, celebrities, world leaders. Some files were stamped confidential and sealed shut. Why would such sensitive documents be hidden beneath a royal residence? But that wasn't the most unsettling discovery. One wall was covered in photographs, grainy black and white images of Princess Diana, Prince Charles, and young Princes William and Harry. Another section displayed pictures of royals from other countries. The collection suggested years of surveillance, tracking every move of the world's most powerful families. In the corner sat a locked metal box. Breaking it open revealed something even more shocking: old audio tapes, letters, and documents, some appearing directly tied to Diana's death. Notes about car safety, tunnel security protocols, and contingency plans raised terrifying questions. Had someone been planning for a tragedy? The mansion quickly became the center of a massive investigation. Teams of experts arrived, carefully collecting every piece of evidence. Files were packed into secure containers and transported for further analysis. Every discovery deepened the mystery. Officials were divided. Some insisted the findings remain classified, fearing public outrage and damage to the monarchy. Others pushed for transparency, believing people had a right to the truth. The royal palace remained silent, refusing to acknowledge the growing rumors. Camilla's response only fueled suspicion. She rushed back to the mansion, visibly furious and demanding answers. Insiders reported her making frantic phone calls, possibly to King Charles or government officials. But what stood out most? She didn't seem surprised by what was found, as if she already knew. When she finally addressed the public, Camilla dismissed the discovery as a misunderstanding. She claimed the items were just historical artifacts, nothing unusual. But that explanation didn't add up. If these files and tapes were so ordinary, why were they hidden in secret tunnels beneath her home? Then there was the question of the FBI's involvement. The American agency rarely steps into royal affairs, yet they had taken a clear interest in Camilla's property. Did this evidence cross international lines? What exactly had they been looking for? For decades, conspiracy theories have surrounded Diana's death. Some believe it wasn't an accident, that she knew too much and was silenced. Even Diana herself had voiced her fears, telling her butler in 1995 that she suspected a car accident would be staged to get rid of her. Now, with these discoveries, the world is watching. As long-hidden royal secrets start to unravel, unexpected figures step into the spotlight. But why would American agents travel thousands of miles just to investigate the Queen? FBI raids British Queen's home. The sight of FBI agents walking through the gates of Queen Camilla's private mansion sent shockwaves across Britain and beyond. This wasn't just another royal scandal, it was a full-blown international investigation. The FBI, America's top law enforcement agency, rarely gets involved in foreign royal affairs, making their presence at Ray Mill House all the more astonishing. The FBI typically handles major crimes like terrorism, organized crime, and high-level corruption. Their jurisdiction usually stops at United States borders, which raises a pressing question. What could connect Queen Camilla to to an American criminal investigation. Normally, any case involving the royal family would be handled by British authorities, MI5, MI6, or Scotland Yard. These agencies tightly control royal security matters, ensuring sensitive information stays within the UK. But the FBI's involvement suggests something big enough to override long-standing diplomatic norms. One theory? Money. The FBI's International Corruption Unit has been expanding its reach in recent years, tracking suspicious financial activity across borders. The British monarchy controls billions of pounds through trusts, foundations, and investments. While parts of royal finances are public, large portions remain shielded under special exemptions granted to the Crown. Ray Mill House, which Camilla bought in 1994 after her divorce, has remained her personal retreat even after marrying King Charles. Unlike official royal residences, this private estate could have operated outside the strict oversight of palace security. If financial records, offshore accounts, or sensitive documents were hidden here, it could explain the FBI's sudden interest. Another angle? International money laundering. The FBI closely monitors funds that move through offshore tax havens like the Cayman Islands, British Virgin Islands, and Switzerland. Recent financial leaks have exposed how the ultra-wealthy, including political figures, hide assets and avoid taxes. If the agents at Ray Mill House found documents linking the royal family to these transactions, it could trigger a massive legal and diplomatic storm. There's also the possibility of a national security breach. The FBI's Counterintelligence Division investigates foreign espionage threats. The royal family has access to highly sensitive government information, regularly meeting with world leaders, prime ministers, and intelligence officials. If someone within the monarchy leaked or mishandled classified information, it could explain why the FBI, rather than just British authorities, stepped in. Ray Mill House itself is an interesting target. Unlike Buckingham Palace or Windsor Castle, it lacks the same level of security monitoring. Its secluded grounds and private spaces could have been used to store sensitive materials away from official oversight. The timing of the raid is also significant. Governments worldwide are cracking down on financial secrecy, forcing wealthy individuals to rethink how they hide assets. If Camilla's private estate contained evidence of hidden wealth, secret dealings, or connections to global financial scandals, it could be part of a much larger investigation. Whatever the reason, one thing is clear: the FBI wouldn't risk diplomatic fallout unless they had serious evidence. American agents crossing international borders to investigate a sitting queen is unheard of in modern history. As investigators dig deeper, the British government remains tight-lipped. Behind every FBI raid is a crucial first clue: who broke the royal code of silence and why? Whistleblowers, informants, and palace cover-ups. The FBI's shocking raid on Queen Camilla's mansion wasn't some random event. Federal agents don't just barge into royal residences without a rock-solid reason. Someone or something led them straight to Ray Mill House. Tearing through centuries of royal secrecy, law enforcement agencies like the FBI don't take such dramatic action lightly, especially against foreign royalty. That raises a huge question: who tipped them off? The royal household operates under strict confidentiality agreements. Everyone from senior advisors to kitchen staff signs legally binding contracts, preventing them from revealing what they see or hear. Breaking those agreements comes with serious legal and financial consequences. So, if someone did leak information, it had to be worth the risk. The most likely explanation is an insider, someone with direct knowledge of the royal family's private affairs. Investigators are considering multiple possibilities. One theory points to a former staff member who may have witnessed something troubling and decided to speak up after leaving the royal service. The timing is interesting. Several high-level staff members, including a senior financial advisor and 2 of Camilla's security personnel, recently left their positions. Another possibility is someone from Camilla's circle. Before she married Charles, she kept close friendships outside royal life. Some of these people weren't bound by the same strict loyalty oaths as palace staff. and may have overheard private conversations or seen sensitive documents during visits to Ray Mill House. Then there's Prince Harry. His name has popped up in speculation, given his dramatic break from the royal family and his public criticism of the monarchy. His memoir Spare pulled back the curtain on royal life, including his complicated relationship with Camilla. While there's no evidence linking him directly to the investigation, his willingness to expose royal secrets shows just how much the old rules of silence have crumbled. Security experts also point to a different potential source: royal protection officers. These bodyguards witness unguarded moments in the royal family's lives, but they remain professional and discreet, at least while they were employed. Some have since moved on to private security firms or consulting jobs. Did one of them decide to reveal what they know? Another possibility? A digital leak. The royal family has had cybersecurity issues in recent years. There were multiple quietly handled breaches of palace email systems in 2022, according to cybersecurity reports. If financial records or sensitive correspondence were leaked, they might have given investigators the evidence they needed to act. Then there's the legal angle. Lawyers who handle royal estates, trusts, and financial matters have access to some of the monarchy's most guarded secrets. While attorney-client privilege protects most of their work, there are certain legal and ethical obligations that require them to report financial crimes. Given the international complexity of royal wealth, these advisors operate across multiple jurisdictions, where different laws might apply. History shows that royal scandals often break through unexpected sources. Prince Andrew's Epstein scandal wasn't initially exposed by police. It came out through legal filings in a United States court. Investigators then used financial records and travel logs to build their case. Camilla's connections with world leaders, business tycoons, and high-profile figures from across the globe add another layer to the mystery. She's traveled extensively in recent years, including to countries known for their discreet financial dealings. If something in those relationships raised red flags, it could explain why United States authorities got involved. One thing is clear: the FBI wouldn't take this kind of action unless the evidence was both credible and urgent. The approval for such a politically sensitive move would have come from the highest levels of the United States Department of Justice. As the investigation unfolds, the identity of the informant remains a closely guarded secret. But whoever they are, they've shattered the royal code of silence, perhaps forever. Their decision to come forward could change the course of royal history, forcing open doors that were meant to stay locked. Secret letters hidden for decades may hold Diana's final warnings, but will the truth ever come out? Charles finally breaks silence on Diana. For years, the story of King Charles and Princess Diana has fascinated people around the world. What started as a fairy tale wedding quickly turned into one of the most talked about royal dramas in history. Now, after decades of speculation and rumors, King Charles seems ready to finally share his side of the story. Charles has spent his entire life under a microscope. Born in November 1948 as the first child of Queen Elizabeth II, he never had the freedom of a normal childhood. While other kids played outside without a care, Charles was constantly watched. His parents were often busy with royal duties, leaving him to be raised mostly by nannies and tutors. This emotional distance shaped the man he would become. His school years at Gordonstown, a tough Scottish boarding school, were especially challenging. His father, Prince Philip, believed the school's harsh discipline would toughen him up. But Charles, a sensitive boy who loved books and art, struggled to fit in. He was bullied by classmates and found the strict routine overwhelming. Still, those difficult years helped him develop resilience. Unlike previous heirs to the throne, Charles broke tradition by going to university before serving in the military. Some within the royal family saw this as avoiding duty, but at Cambridge, he studied anthropology, archaeology, and history, becoming the first British heir to earn a college degree. University gave him a rare glimpse of normal life and helped him understand the world beyond palace walls.
To me and to my sister, has always been a very fascinating and intriguing country.
After graduating, Charles proved his critics wrong by joining both the Royal Air Force and Royal Navy. He trained as a pilot, worked his way up to commander, and earned respect through hard work. His time in the military showed that he could balance royal responsibilities with personal ambitions. Then came Diana Spencer, and the royal story took a dramatic turn. They first met in a plowed field when Diana was just 16, while Charles was dating her older sister, Sarah. After that relationship ended, he turned his attention to Diana. Despite their 12-year age gap, they began dating. Their 1981 wedding was a global spectacle, watched by hundreds of millions, but cracks appeared early on. During their engagement interview, when asked if they were in love, Diana quickly said yes, while Charles awkwardly responded, "Whatever in love means."
To it all in the last 6 months. And next to Charles and I can't go wrong.
Diana also discovered he had bought a gift for his longtime love, Camilla Parker Bowles. Hurt and unsure, she even considered calling off the wedding. The marriage didn't make things easier. Diana struggled with constant media attention and the pressures of royal life. Meanwhile, Charles never truly ended his relationship with Camilla, leading to deep resentment and heartbreak. Diana, overwhelmed and isolated, developed bulimia as she tried to cope. Their marriage fell apart when leaked phone calls exposed Charles and Camilla's ongoing affair. Charles eventually admitted to it, while Diana famously told the world, "There were 3 of us in this marriage." They separated in 1992 and divorced in 1996. Despite her struggles, Diana found purpose in charity work. She shattered royal traditions by personally connecting with AIDS patients, landmine victims, and sick children. Her compassion and warmth earned her the nickname the People's Princess, changing how the world viewed the royal family. Her tragic death in 1997 stunned the world, but her legacy lives on through her sons, Princes William and Harry, who continue her humanitarian work. Now, as King Charles prepares to share his perspective, his words will add a new layer to a story that has fascinated the world for decades. No matter what he reveals, the legacy of his past marked by love, loss, and scandal will remain a defining chapter in royal history. With hidden tunnels, secret letters, and shocking royal discoveries, what other mysteries might still be buried beneath the palace? If these revelations are just the beginning, what more could the royal family be hiding? Share your thoughts with us in the comments section. Remember to like, share, and subscribe for more. Also, click the next video showing on your screen. You will enjoy it.